This evening, President Granger envisions a stronger, smarter, and more efficient public service. Government presents white paper on sugar industry in the National Assembly. GWI recommits itself to customer service with many infrastructural improvements slated for this year. Opposition pushes motion to suspend MMA ADA rate increase. In the region, in St. Lucia, protests continue after the past election, over 500 days ago. And internationally, years of poverty and conflict are causing North African refugees to cross the Mediterranean Sea in record numbers.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Granville Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with Basil Bradshaw.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Join us. Yesterday, the government unveiled a white paper in the House of Parliament. In it, the government expresses its plan to save the sugar industry. Find out in this Andrew Weeks report why some sugar estates will be merged while others must be closed.
Minister of Agriculture Noel Holder said the future of sugar industry lies in a smaller sector with reduced losses and cash deficits, but coupled with a separate and profitable diversified enterprise which will ensure a viable future. This was Minister Holder's presentation in the House as he unveils government's white paper on the future of the sugar industry at the 64th sitting of the National Assembly on Monday. According to the minister, the sugar industry now lags behind mining, construction, and the rice industry to the nation's economy.
Government, however, cannot let GUYANA continue to utilize a business model that is based on waste, inefficiency, and hopelessness, ultimately leading to its undoing. Neither option is a formula for improving the income and wealth of sugar workers while seeking to provide a good life for current and future generations. The government of Guyana had to decide whether to maintain control of the industry in whole or in part, or whether to diversify its operations, or sell it to a private investor or investor.
Since GUYANA is the country's largest employer, government's white paper will now see the merging of several estates and the closure of others in order to save the sugar industry.
GUYANA's sugar operations will be limited to the Albion, Rose Hall, Blairmont, and Ifrit Wales estates, with the aim of producing annually 147,000 tons of sugar, with assurances of markets at economic prices. Albion and Rose Hall estates cultivation will be amalgamated. This will result in the closure of the Rose Hall factory at the end of 2017. Some lands will be made available for diversification purposes. The Elmore factory will be closed at the end of 2017, when all cane will be harvested. The East Coast estates will be earmarked for diversification. 2. Employment of labor. GUYANA will retain as many workers needed for all operations on the merged estate factory. Employees are to be leased land by GUYANA to engage in crops. Crop types to be decided by GUYANA and the Ministry of Agriculture.
Earlier, Minister of Finance Winston Jordan had stated on the new government's program on MCN that there are CARICOM islands and countries around the world who have gotten rid of sugar.
Sugar doesn't exist in Trinidad. Barbados is trying with theirs, but also Barbados has huge problems with the sugar industry because it's just as dependent as ours. But for those who took heed, like Mauritius and those, they are in a better position today. Their economies are growing faster than we are, whereas ours are being dragged down by an industry where no matter what you do, it will not be able to turn around tomorrow. Eventually it may turn around, but at great cost to the taxpayers, and certainly not sugar that we knew it before.
The government proposes that the sugar production should be contracted to approximately 147,000 tons of sugar annually produced from the Albion, Blairmont, and Ifrit estates. Focus would be on producing for direct consumption value-added sugar and providing electricity to the national grid.
Mr. Speaker, preparation of the government's position on the future of the sugar industry was a long and intense process. It reflects the complex issues at stake, where a proper balance had to be found between social and economic objectives. I now officially circulate this statement as a state paper on the future of the sugar industry to this Honourable House for the record.
I thank the Honourable Minister for his statement.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. A father has confessed to striking his son to the head. That later resulted in the son's death, in stark contrast to earlier claims that the young man fell off a ladder and injured himself. Investigators said the 40-year-old man is cooperating as they continue to probe the death of 18-year-old Aziz Khan, a laborer of Lot 8, Better Hope, East Coast, Demerara. The Guyana police force said at about 7:30 a.m. on Thursday, May 4th, 2017, the father and son had an altercation during which he was allegedly struck to the head with a piece of wood. He was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, where he died the following day. An autopsy showed that the cause of death was given as hemorrhage due to blunt force trauma to the head. Police said they were initially informed that the deceased fell off a ladder at his place of work, which was later proven otherwise. Many improvements are in store for GWI customers within the coming year, according to GWI's CEO. Here's more.
We've done an investment a lot in terms of customer service, but we're just at the tip of the iceberg.
According to Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Water Incorporated, Dr. Richard Van West Charles, GWI seeks to make customer service its primary aim. But before employees can give proper customer service, they must know who the customers are. GWI has developed several methods in order to properly assess and service its customer base.
In order for us to be more granular, the staff, they've completed the zoning of this country, where staff assigned to each zone, contractors assigned to each zone, will have an interface directly with the customers, and the customers will know who the staff is that is working in his or her zone.
One of the more loftier goals for this year for GWI is to provide potable water to health and educational facilities around the nation. This is an endeavor Dr. Van West Charles believes that Guyana must commit itself to.
At least Guyana must give an undertaking that our children in the schools, to start with, must have access to potable water.
There are several factors of customer service that goes beyond mere pleasant interactions between GWI staff and customers. An important aspect is the physical delivery of services, in this case, water, in a reasonable and sustainable manner.
We shall be moving into a set of well fields in a community which have more than one well, because that is important for the aquifer also to recharge.
This new method leaves less of an environmental impact than traditional means of water drilling. It is not uncommon for leaks and pipe breaches to occur in Guyana's water system. This loss is referred to as non-revenue water. GWI experiences a non-revenue water loss of about 55%. This waste costs the nation millions annually, as over half of the water pumped by GWI never even reaches the consumer. This situation is compounded by the fact that GWI's biggest operating cost is energy. Naturally, as electricity is needed to power hundreds of thousands of pumps, machines, and other pieces of equipment throughout the nation. Through the use of more efficient pumping and delivery methods, GWI will experience two benefits. They will be in line with the President's green agenda, as well as saving a lot of money.
With our research, we know that there are capabilities for larger solar pumps, which would help us to increase the pumping capability and reduce the cost, reduce the subvention that comes from Ministry of Finance with respect to the energy costs, because Without energy, GWI is unable to produce the water.
On the topic of money saving, GWI's plans for this year include the unveiling of a brand new product that could probably save you thousands of dollars on your water bill each year. Find out what it is in tomorrow's newscast. Coming up on Headline News after the break. National Assembly debates suspension of MMA-ADA rate increases, and Minister of State shares President's vision of the public service sector.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
It's always fresh, tasty, enticing, and the best in town. Served hot from our experienced chefs. Come and enjoy our daily meals with a wide and delicious menu to choose from. Also a wide variety of pastries and dessert. We can also host your luncheons, cocktails, parties, and formal gathering. For reservation, call 225-1730, 225-0038, and delivery 225-0195 or 225-0159. The new thriving Chinese restaurant, 32 Main Street, Georgetown.
Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale is back. Get wholesale prices at any of the 2 Footsteps locations on Wednesday, 10th May. Yes, you heard right. Great savings is at both Footsteps locations on Wednesday, May 10th. Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale is on. Footsteps, bringing it all together.
Guyana, get ready. It's the biggest album launch by a Guyanese artist. It's the launch of the album You by Saiku, featuring the hit songs Pillow Could Speak.
If my pillow could speak, it would tell you how I weep.
Mess to a Messenger.
From a mess to a messenger. Mama used to pray and say blessing.
And the title track, You.
I need you, I need you.
20th May, GFC Ground Burda. Guest artist, Kevin Downswell, Ada Boafo, Prodigal Son, Anil Aziz, and many more. Entry free with the purchase of the original album. Children under 10 free.
Refurbish your home is now. And Home & Beyond is making it possible for you to get started with its massive 25% off sale. Yes, get 25% off our entire furniture floor. All sofa sets, recliners, washing machines, beds, closets, refrigerators, and so much more. Offer valid while stocks last. Home & Beyond, the home of affordable luxury.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Last night, the opposition presented a motion to suspend the implementation of new proposed land rates and rentals by the Mahaica-Maikoni-Aburi Agricultural Development Authority, or MMA-ADA, in the National Assembly. Here's more. In January, the Ministry of Agriculture's Mahaica-Maikoni-Aburi Agricultural Development Authority, or MMA-ADA, raised the combined total of land rent and drainage fees for rice paddy farmers from $3,500 to $15,000 an acre since the institution of the rate hike. PPP parliamentarian and head of the Guyana Rice Producers Association, Dharam Kumar Siraj, has been leading the protests against it. Yesterday, Siraj presented a motion in the National Assembly to suspend the rent increase.
Will go a far way towards ensuring the viability of not only the rice sector, but also support for livestock and other crops.
Siraj argued that the increase will devastate the rice industry. He declared that it does not make financial sense given the poor state of the rice industry currently. After the loss of the $300 million rice deal with Venezuela in 2015, the rice industry has been reeling. The MP expressed the belief of it being a backwards move, citing the actions by other nations. In the face of financial decline, their governments did not tax the farmers, rather they heavily subsidized them.
Developing countries, sir, give support to their agriculture sector. One country in the Far East gives a subsidy in excess of 400% to rice farmers. All we're saying that here in Guyana, recognizing some of the difficulties we're faced with as a developing nation, all we're saying that don't tax us more. Don't tax us more. Don't move.
Minister of Agriculture Noel Holder recognized the financial strain the industry is experiencing. Nonetheless, he argued against the motion, countering that the money collected is necessary for the development of land and irrigation services for Region 5 farmers. Minister Holder told the National Assembly that the MMA is currently carrying out new infrastructural works in the Maikoni-Aburi area. This work will facilitate the development of an additional 15,000 acres of land. It is his belief that the continuation of services is only possible through increasing fees.
9 years, extensive infrastructure and other works have been undertaken in the block, to the extent that the cultivated area has doubled. Consequently, the requirement for D&I services have increased, and the Region 5 appropriations are inadequate to meet the cost of providing these services.
Ultimately, after hours of intense debate, the motion failed. The MM/ADA will continue with its proposed increase. The fees collected will provide for the operation and maintenance of 784 miles of drainage and irrigation canals, 381 structures including cokers, sluices, bridges, aqueducts, and regulators, as well as 4 pump stations. Maverick DeBrow is wanted by the police for questioning in relation to 2 separate incidents. DeBrow is accused of inflicting grievous bodily harm to Rodney LeBlanc on April 16th in front of Palm Court. Soca artiste Rodney LeBlanc, also known as Benji, was struck in the head by a bottle following an altercation in front of the popular nightclub. DeBrow is also accused of discharging a loaded firearm during the course of a robbery which occurred on February 1st, 2017 and committed on Tiffany and Jamil Hubbard in Industrial Site Rheinveld. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Maverick DeBrow is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 225-6411, 226-1389, 911, or the nearest police station. All information will be treated with the strictest confidence. According to Minister of State Joseph Harmon, President David Granger has a vision for a strong public service, one that is educated, efficient, and that understands their role is to serve the government and not a political party. Andrew Weeks reports that Minister Harmon made this statement on Reflection in Government, a new program airing Mondays on NCN 11.
Minister of State Joseph Harmon stated on the Reflection in Government show on the National Communications Network Channel 11 that the APNU plus EFC government thought it necessary to produce a different type of public servants because the public service left by the former PPC administration was broken.
A public servant that understood that Guyana was not just about the coast, that Guyana was about the coast, the hinterland, and all of Guyana, the 216,000 square kilometers of Guyana. And so it meant that they had to understand the various issues which affect Guyanese people living in every part of this country. So you could not be a very good public servant and did not understand what it meant to serve in the hinterland, what it meant to serve at Lethem, what it meant to serve at Mabruma, what it meant to serve at Kaikan, at Port Kaituma, at Matthews Ridge, and these places.
Minister Harmon said it is important that the new public servant understands all of Guyana.
So that the curriculum that was set up for the public service staff college had to include all of these things. It had to include an appreciation of our culture. It had to include an appreciation for the politics of this country. It had to include an appreciation for education.
The Minister of State went on to state that the new public service has nothing to do with race, gender, or geographic location. The minister also gave an update on the training of the new public servants.
These things did not matter once those essential elements were there that we are looking for in a very good public servant. So that the Public Service Staff College was established. It got started in December of 2016. The first course started in December of 2016. There are 58 students in training right now, and they are going through all of these things that I've spoken to you about. The curriculum is very, very intense, and they're the phase right now where they're completing some of the classroom work. In the June or July or thereabouts, they will actually be going on extended visits to various parts of the country, to various institutions, and so they can get a first-hand feel of what Guyana is all about the productive entities of Guyana, and not just in a classroom where you go and so on.
To be a part of the public service, one must be computer literate, says the Minister of State, so that the worker could understand how to function in the workplace, especially when it comes to making decisions.
So every single student, once they started work at the staff college, was given a computer. Every student. And a lot of the work which they have to do, it's online, so that they get accustomed to the speed at which decision making in the new world has to take place. So these are things that are happening right now in the public service.
The Public Service College is a part of President David Granger's commitment to build capacity and improve the efficiency of the public service. The realization of the college is a testimony to the importance which His Excellency the Presidency pays to training of public servants, says Minister of State. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Don't go away. Still ahead, we have our regional and international news.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
The time to refurbish your home is now. And Home & Beyond is making it possible for you to get started with its massive 25% off sale. Yes, get 25% off our entire furniture floor. All sofa sets, recliners, washing machines, beds, closets, refrigerators, and so much more. Offer valid while stocks last. Home and Beyond, the home of affordable luxury.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale is back. Get wholesale prices at any of the 2 Footsteps locations on Wednesday, 10th May. Yes, you heard right. Great savings is at both Footsteps locations on Wednesday, May 10th. Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale is on. Footsteps, bringing it all together.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Now opened, the new thriving Chinese restaurant Providence location. Perfect for large events, exquisite menus featuring traditional Korean, Chinese and Western cuisine, elegant grand dining room and seats for over 500 persons. Also additional seating on the upper flat, luxurious VIP rooms and an elevator for your comfort. The new thriving Chinese restaurant second location above Massey Supermarket, Amazonian Mall, Providence. For reservation call 623-4097 or 657-9067.
In news from the region now, in St. Lucia, the group of protesters which has been demonstrating outside of the Electoral College since December 9th, 2015 general elections has marked 500 days on the front line. Eyewitness News reports.
Naturally, you would have different responses, but we know that the powers that be would rather not see us here on a day-to-day basis. It is affecting them. It's no joy for a regime to be constantly reminded day by day and have visitors to our shores knowing that something is not right by way of an election.
What have you achieved in the last 500 days?
What we have achieved attention from abroad. For example, every time there's a tourist boat here, we try to talk to the visitors, especially when we had placards on the wall. They would read and ask us questions. Some of us have made friends by these tourists. That's number one. Number two, if we were not effective, we would not have the police harassing us. They've actually given up now, but they were vehemently after us to get rid of us, to not remind us. Thirdly, the illegitimate prime minister, and I will insist illegitimate, he used to come here as if he was, daring us. He doesn't come here anymore. So that to me is a sign that something is happening.
You said that when visitors come, they read the signs, but what exactly is the aim of this protest?
The aim is to let not only local people know, but people across the world to know that the election on December 5th and December 9th was a fraud at best.
And internationally, record numbers of migrants have already tried to reach Europe from North Africa this year. More than 7,000 have been saved from boats in distress in the Mediterranean in the last few days alone. The Italian Coast Guard says as many as 200 may have drowned. It's thought that they were trying to make the treacherous cross from Libya in search of a new life. BBC's Rita Chakrabarti has spent the last week on a cruise ship and gives you more.
7 uneventful days at sea with a rescue mission, and then suddenly this.
We have 2 rubber boats, possibly also 1 wooden boat. Team, please prepare on deck for rescue.
A scene, said the crew, like never before. First 2, then 3, then, as we were spotted, more and yet more boatloads of people scuttling towards us to rescue and to safety.
These women look really exhausted. They're coming on one by one. One of the women I've seen has got a little child with her.
This toddler is named Blessing and is one of the tiniest travellers. Her mother Joy knows the risk she took to come with her child, but said she had no choice. She was working in Libya, but it became too dangerous to stay.
I go to markets. When I enter the taxi on my way, they stop the taxi, drag me inside another car. They go and lock me inside room. They told me to control my husband to bring money.
I asked her what she hoped for from the future.
If I see what I will do, because everything is tiring me. I have baby.
Blessing is happily ignorant of her mother's grief and oblivious to the peril that she's just faced.
Still they come. Goodness knows how many people were crammed into that rubber dinghy there. They're all processed now, checked. This man clearly in pain.
The vast majority on board are men of working age, from West and East Africa and also from Asia. There are many factors driving them, but the turmoil in Libya is key. These scars were inflicted on Imran in Bangladesh, which is where he's from. He was targeted by the local mafia, he says, and left for Libya to work as a cook. But he went months unpaid and was beaten if he asked for his wage. I asked him why he risked his life making this crossing.
আপনি কেন এই ছোট জাহাজে গেছেন?
ছোট জাহাজে আসছি লিবিয়াতে অনেক কষ্ট পাইছি।
He told me he took the rubber boat because Libya was dangerous. He had a chance of life if he left. Libya was intolerable. He couldn't do it anymore.
লিবিয়াতে এত কষ্ট সহ্য হয় না আর করব না।
Last year broke records for the number of migrants making the crossing, and this year looks set to top that. Italy has borne the weight of housing and caring for them, but opinion is hardening, with claims that these rescue missions are a taxi service for migrants, and even that the aid agencies are colluding with Libyan people smugglers to bring the migrants to Europe.
Our sole mission is to save the lives of people, and especially children, who are escaping violence, persecution and extreme poverty. We have no contact whatsoever with people smugglers. We operate only in international waters.
Who knows what lies ahead for these people, but they have survived the sea. Others were not so lucky. Earlier in the week, a body was spotted. The sea is a graveyard too. The search will go on. This crossing from Libya has become an established route run by ruthless criminals who care little whether their desperate passengers will see another day. Rita Chakrabarti, BBC News.
And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and SafeTVGuyana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.